The film opens with a young woman named Terry, who has recently moved to New York from a quiet small town, chasing a single dream, to become a professional dancer and build a life for herself on stage. During one of her performances, everything seems to be going perfectly, until disaster strikes. In the middle of a move, Terry suddenly twists her foot. A sharp crack echoes through her body as her ankle breaks. She collapses instantly, screaming in agony, forcing the show to stop midway. Ironically, the accident makes her famous overnight, not for her talent, but as the dancer who broke her ankle and brought an entire performance to a halt. Months pass before her injury finally heals, but recovery comes with its own struggles. Terry has been living with a friend, yet she hasn't paid rent for a long time. Her flatmate grows frustrated and asks her friend to remind Terry that she can't stay there for free forever. Now that she can walk again, Terry begins attending auditions across the city, hoping for a fresh start. Unfortunately, rejection follows her everywhere. No one is willing to hire her, and the constant failure leaves her deeply stressed. She desperately needs money, but opportunities seem impossible to find. The very next day, she walks into another audition, determined not to give up. This time, the judges recognize her immediately. Curious, they ask her to perform the very move that caused her fall. Terry gathers her courage and tries, but her legs are still weak from the injury. Her body refuses to cooperate, and the move falls apart. Watching from a distance is a producer who remembers her. He studies her carefully before asking where she grew up. Terry calmly replies, "I grew up on a farm, raising pigs." The producer smirks and responds with a cruel remark. "If you move your backside like a pig, maybe I'll give you work." The humiliation hits her instantly. Terry's eyes fill with tears, but she refuses to let her dignity break. "Even if I need the job," she says firmly, "I will never stoop so low or degrade myself just to get it." With that, she storms out. The weight of rejection and humiliation becomes too much to bear. Overwhelmed with stress, Terry begins taking pills to calm herself down. As she steps outside, she notices the same producer leaving the building. Desperate for another chance, she follows him to his apartment complex and asks the receptionist to inform him that she wants to meet him. She is told to wait. But suddenly, her body reacts to the pills she swallowed. A wave of nausea crashes over her, and she rushes outside, vomiting on the pavement. An elderly couple passing by notices her fragile condition. The woman, Minnie, immediately steps forward to help, her voice filled with concern. Coincidentally, they live in the very same building as the producer. The next morning, Terry wakes up inside the couple's apartment. Instead of suspicion, she is met with warmth. They treat her kindly, almost like family. Wanting to return the favor, Terry helps Minnie with household chores and mentions that she is a ballet dancer. Minnie smiles gently and says, "One day, you will become a great dancer." Hearing those words fills Terry with happiness. She explains that her broken ankle is the only reason she cannot dance properly right now. Seeing her situation, the couple takes Terry to a nearby empty apartment and reveal that it also belongs to them. If she wishes, she can live there completely free of charge. Terry is stunned by their generosity. "Why are you helping me?" she asks cautiously. The couple exchange a soft glance before replying, "We have no heirs, and whenever we get a chance to help someone, we do." They explain that a young girl once lived in that apartment, but one day she suddenly disappeared. Ever since then, the flat has remained empty. Grateful for what feels like a miracle, Terry returns to her old place, packs her belongings, and excitedly tells her friend, "I found an amazing apartment, and the best part is I don't even have to pay rent." Her friend immediately grows uneasy. "Don't trust strangers so easily," she warns. But Terry ignores the caution. Hope has already taken over her judgment. Carrying her bags, she moves into her new home, apartment 7A, the very title of the film. While unpacking, she discovers a lone shoe that once belonged to the girl who lived there before. Soon, she learns that the girl's name was Joan. At that very moment, Minnie arrives. Curious, Terry asks about Joan, but Minnie simply shrugs. We don't know much. One day she packed her things and left. Then Minnie mentions that a man has invited them to dinner that evening, the same producer Terry had been trying to meet. That night, Terry arrives for dinner, only to learn that Minnie and her husband couldn't make it. Surprisingly, she doesn't mind. After all, this is exactly the opportunity she wanted. The producer speaks politely now, his earlier cruelty nowhere to be seen. He studies her with interest and asks, "Why do you want to become a ballet dancer so badly?" For a moment, Terry's expression softens. "My parents died in a crash," she says quietly. "The pain pushed me into depression. But whenever I danced, I felt alive again. That is why I want to become a great dancer." The producer offers Terry a drink, his tone unusually warm and welcoming. Trusting him, she takes a sip. Almost instantly, something feels wrong. Her surroundings begin to blur, and terrifying visions flood her mind. It feels as if countless invisible hands are touching her, holding her down. Shadowy figures dressed in black surround her, positioning her body into the shape of a star. A ritual is underway. Helpless and barely conscious, Terry watches as a monstrous, devil-like entity slowly approaches her. Then everything goes dark. When Terry finally wakes up, she is still in the same place, disoriented and weak. The producer smiles calmly and says, "We had quite a night, and I'm offering you a role." Though confused, Terry focuses only on the opportunity. Happiness washes over her. After so many rejections, this feels like the breakthrough she has been waiting for. The next day, she attends practice, but instead of encouragement, the lead dancer mocks her openly, treating her like she doesn't belong there. Uneasy and physically uncomfortable, Terry heads to the bathroom. That is when she notices disturbing red marks spread across her legs. A cold realization creeps in. Something terrible may have happened the night before. Back at home, Terry visits Minnie's apartment, where a neighbor is already present. Minnie gently examines Terry's ankle, while the neighbor applies a medicinal ointment. Handing it to her, the neighbor says, "Apply this regularly, your ankle will heal very soon." Despite their kindness, Terry cannot ignore the strange way they all look at her, as if they know something she doesn't. That night, she applies the ointment before going to bed. Sleep brings no peace. She dreams of a horrifying creature creeping toward her in the darkness. Just as it prepares to attack, Terry jolts awake, her heart racing and her body drenched in sweat. Morning arrives with something even more shocking. Her ankle is completely healed, as if it had never been broken at all. The ointment works with unnatural speed. During practice, Terry performs flawlessly. Her trainer praises her talent, and for the first time in a long while, she feels hopeful. Wanting to celebrate, she takes her friend to an elite party filled with influential people. There, a polite doctor hands her his card. "Call me if you ever need anything," he says reassuringly. Later, while walking into the kitchen, Terry overhears Minnie and the neighbor arguing intensely. Their voices fall silent the moment she enters. When Terry asks what happened, they refuse to explain, and the neighbor storms out angrily. Soon after, Minnie's husband arrives carrying a large box. Smiling, he presents it to Terry as a gift. Inside is a beautiful coat. "There's something else for you," he adds, pointing to the pocket. Terry reaches inside and pulls out a delicate locket. "You should wear it," he tells her. "It will bring you good luck." Grateful, Terry returns home and puts on both the coat and the locket. But within moments, a sharp pain tears through her stomach. Terrified, she rips them off immediately. Her friend rushes over asking what's wrong, but Terry cannot explain the strange sensation. The following morning, she begins vomiting uncontrollably. Worried, Terry visits the doctor she met at the party. After a thorough examination, he delivers life-altering news. She is pregnant. The words shatter her composure. This is the last thing she wants. Terry dreams of becoming a great dancer, not a mother. "I have a career to build," she whispers, overwhelmed. Her friend cautiously asks, "Will you tell the producer?" Terry shakes her head. "No. He will never accept this child. He'll fire me. I have to end the pregnancy and focus on my future." But from that moment on, reality itself begins to feel distorted. While washing her clothes one day, Terry suddenly senses a presence behind her. Slowly, she looks down into the machine, and for a split second, she sees a devilish baby staring back at her. She recoils in horror. Moments later, she convinces herself it must have been her imagination. The next day at rehearsal, the producer approaches her with unsettling calmness. "I know you're pregnant," he says, "and I have no problem with it. In fact, I want you to keep the baby." Relief mixes with confusion. Why would he want that? Later, Terry returns to her apartment, only to find Minnie and her husband already inside. Startled, she asks, "How did you get in here?" "We have a spare key," they reply casually. "And we know about your pregnancy. We'll take you to a doctor." Terry immediately refuses. "I'm not having this child." Minnie's expression hardens. "That would be a crime," she says coldly. "If you don't want the baby, we will raise it ourselves. We have no children. And we will pay you generously. You can still have your career." After a long pause, Terry reluctantly agrees. But peace never follows. That night, she suffers another terrifying dream. Masked figures encircle her, chanting as they perform a ritual. She wakes abruptly. A faint noise comes from outside her room. Switching on the light, she freezes. The neighbor is standing there. "I will not let this child be born," the woman hisses before lunging at her. Panicked, Terry locks herself inside a room. Suddenly, the neighbor collapses, clutching her chest, a heart attack. Terry immediately calls an ambulance, and the woman is rushed to the hospital. Shaken, Terry demands answers from Minnie and her husband. Minnie sighs and explains, "She was mentally unstable. That's why she attacked you." The explanation feels convenient, but Terry has no proof. After they leave, curiosity drives her to explore the apartment more carefully. That is when she discovers a hidden door. It leads directly into the neighbor's home. Inside, Terry finds a collection of bizarre and unsettling objects. Among them is an ancient-looking book describing a devil, one that looks exactly like the creature from her dreams. Her hands tremble as she flips through the pages. There is even an illustration of a young woman giving birth to a devil child. Suddenly, she senses someone nearby. Fear tightening her chest, Terry grabs the book and rushes back to her apartment. Later, during dance practice, chaos erupts without warning. One of the dancers suddenly twists her leg and crashes to the floor. Her body bends at unnatural angles, contorting in ways that seem almost inhuman. Everyone watches in horror as she is quickly taken to the hospital. Seeing Terry's rapid improvement, the producer approaches her with exciting news. "I want you to perform the lead dance," he says confidently. The words feel unreal. After everything she has endured, this is the moment she has been fighting for. Joy fills her heart. Soon, the day of the performance arrives. Under the bright stage lights, Terry pours every ounce of her strength into the dance. Her movements are sharp, graceful, and powerful. The audience watches in awe as she delivers a flawless performance. For the first time, it feels like her dreams are finally coming true. But that happiness fades the moment she returns home. Standing before the mirror, Terry notices something horrifying. Her belly has swollen far more than it should have, and the baby inside is moving violently, almost unnaturally. Terrified, she immediately calls the doctor. "You need to come to the hospital right away," he insists. His urgency only deepens her fear. Why is everyone so obsessed with this baby? Just then, she spots Minnie waiting outside her apartment. Panicking, Terry locks the door and calls out, "I'm very tired. I need rest. Please, come back tomorrow." Minnie leaves, but Terry's anxiety only grows stronger. Convinced that something is terribly wrong, she decides she must escape the building. Quickly packing her belongings, Terry slips out and begins searching for answers about the girl who once lived in her apartment, Joan. Her search leads her to a man connected to Joan. When Terry asks about her, he explains that Joan mysteriously disappeared, though some of her belongings were never collected. As Terry goes through them, she finds a Bible. One page is folded carefully, a passage mentioning the devil. Inside rests a small cross. The moment Terry touches it, a burning sensation shoots through her hand. She recoils in pain, a chilling realization dawning on her. Everything is connected to something demonic. Determined to understand the truth, Terry takes the satanic book she found earlier to a church and shows it to a nun. The nun's expression turns pale instantly. "Joan came here once," she reveals. "She was terrified, just like you. People later said she died in an accident." Suddenly, a sharp pain grips Terry's stomach. As she clutches her belly, the nun realizes she is pregnant. With trembling lips, the nun whispers, "The devil chose that girl before, and now it has chosen you. You must leave immediately." Her voice lowers into a warning. "The child you carry is not human. It is the devil's son, and no one can save you." The words echo in Terry's mind. Driven by desperation, she decides there is only one option left. She must end the pregnancy. Accompanied by her friend, Terry goes to a doctor. But just as the procedure is about to begin, something unimaginable happens. Terry suddenly lashes out, kicking the doctor with terrifying force. His body goes rigid, his limbs stop responding entirely. He is paralyzed. Horror washes over Terry as she realizes the truth. The entity growing inside her is protecting itself. The devil's child will not allow anyone to harm it. Now fully aware of the danger, Terry makes a painful decision. To keep her friend safe, she says goodbye and returns alone to the building where it all began. This time, she heads straight to the top floor, to a ritual room she instantly recognizes. Memories crash back into her mind: the drink, the darkness, the chanting. They brought her here while she was unconscious and used her for a ritual that impregnated her. At that moment, the producer enters. Calm and proud, he declares, "The child you carry is our God. When it is born, you will be honored as the mother of this divine being." Rage explodes within her. Without hesitation, Terry grabs a knife and stabs the producer, killing him. But before she can escape, a demonic figure appears, blocking her path. She runs toward the exit, only to discover the receptionist locking the doors. The horrifying truth becomes clear. Everyone in the building has been working together. They are members of a satanic cult, devoted to worshiping Satan. Furious and trembling, Terry confronts Minnie and her husband, pointing the knife at them. "Why are you doing this?" she demands. Their answer is chilling. "When our parents were dying, no one helped us," they explain coldly. "So we turned to Satan. We worshipped him, and he answered." Minnie steps closer. "The child in your womb is Satan's heir. Once it is born, Satan will rule the world, and we will rule beside him." "I won't let that happen," Terry cries. In desperation, she tries to stab herself, but her hand refuses to move, as if an unseen force is controlling her. Defeated and shaking, Terry suddenly says, "I want to join the cult." Tears stream down her face, suggesting that something far darker may be influencing her will. Minnie and her husband are overjoyed. They bring Terry before the group, and the cult members welcome her with disturbing warmth. That night, they celebrate with a party. Music blares, people dance, laughter fills the air, and in the middle of it all, Terry quietly walks toward a window. Without warning, she jumps. Her body crashes below, lifeless. The cult members stare down in stunned silence. For the first time, they seem saddened. Their chosen mother is gone. Soon after, the police arrive to investigate the death. They question an actress who reported the incident. As Minnie and her husband step forward, their eyes fall upon the young actress, and a slow, knowing smile spreads across their faces. She is no witness. She is their next target. Once again, they will lure an innocent girl, trap her, and force her to give birth to their dark god, because their devotion has no limits. And who knows how many more lives will be destroyed before their nightmare ends. The film closes on this deeply horrifying note, leaving behind a chilling question. Evil never stops. It only waits for its next victim.